Alright, in today's video we're going to be installing some new pedals inside my 2023 Raptor. Real quick, my truck is partially pulled inside the garage because there's a bunch of these little jerks outside called cicadas that are making it absolutely obnoxious to film everything outside because they're super loud. But anyway, let's get back to the pedals. So SRP Racing pedals, what's cool is they have a whole bunch of vehicle specific kits, and then within those kits you can customize these however you like. So you can get a bunch of different colors. I went with the matte silver. So you can see it's kind of a understated finish, kind of a classic finish. There's also shiny silver, black, and then on top of that, there's also different designs you can get on the pedals themselves. It's cool because the designs are actually functional. So each design is going to give you a different coefficient of friction on the pedal themselves. So it's going to perform slightly different than the next design. I went with the grid because, again, I think this is a good all-around pattern. Looks great, and it's going to work perfectly fine on my 2023 Raptor. Anyway, install is very simple. You just need a couple of additional tools here. You need some masking tape, obviously the instructions, a marker. You get hardware in the kit. So we'll get into this in a minute, but the brake pedal is going to mount into a metal pedal, and the gas pedal is going to actually mount into a plastic pedal inside the vehicle. So you get different types of hardware for what backing material that you're going to be attaching these pedals to. Obviously you're going to need a drill, probably some light, and some drill bits. Back into the pedals real quick. They are custom made for your vehicle. So this one is curved to fit the curvature of the factory gas pedal, and then the brake pedal itself is also curved slightly to fit the finish. So let's go ahead and get inside the vehicle and start working through the installation. One last thing, what you will notice is that even though these are the same pattern, so it's still the grid pattern on the pedals, the brake pedal comes with a much grippier surface. So it's like a pyramid grid here, whereas the gas pedal comes with a more flattened down pattern. And the reason being is this way, when you're accelerating, your foot will slide on the pedal a little bit, allowing the gas pedal to go down. So you don't have to keep picking your foot up and pushing it down like you would with this pattern. But again, on the brake, you're going to want a little bit more grip, hence the design. So let's go ahead and get inside the truck and start working through the installation. We'll start on the brake pedal first. All right, so like I said, we're going to start with the brake pedal. So the install is going to be a little bit different by each pedal. The gas pedals, it's all plastic. We're not removing a cover. The brake pedal is a metal pedal, but it's got a rubber cover on it that we need to remove first before we can go ahead and install the SRP cover. So the first thing you want to do is just find the rubber lip around the edge of the pedal and just go ahead and carefully remove that guy. It should be pretty simple. Again, it's just a rubber cover that goes over, slips over the top of the metal pedal and has a rubber lip. So we're going to toss that aside. We won't need that anymore. Next thing we're going to do is take a pretty decent strip of masking tape, and we're going to cover the whole pedal. And the reason we're going to do that is that will make it easier for us to mark our holes that we're going to drill in that pedal by being able to see it on the blue background. You could obviously do it without that tape. It's just a lot easier to do it with the tape. So you could make sure you're drilling in the right spot. But that's what our pedal is ultimately going to look like in the end of the day. I think it's going to look awesome down there inside the truck. It complements the silver accents you got all over the truck. You can see right here, it does look really nice next to the speaker cover, which also has that brushed satin look to it. All right, so we went ahead and made our marks where we're going to put those screws through the pedal once we get our holes drilled. Quick tip, I used a clamp just to hold the pedal in place. I sat in the seat and I just wanted to make sure that the pedal itself was aligned and exactly where I wanted it before I marked those holes. Now the next thing we're going to do is, because we're drilling in a kind of a tricky area into a metal pedal, we're going to use a punch. That way we can get our center dots, or at least our center points for those pilot holes right where we want them, and then we'll go ahead and drill with the final screw, or with the final drill bit here. But again, punch it, then pilot hole, and then we'll drill with the final screw. Again, when you're marking these holes, make sure you mark them in a location where you have enough room to slide the hardware behind the pedal. All right, so you can see we got our 4 pilot holes drilled. I drilled those with a 1/16 inch drill bit. Now I pulled off the tape. Now the next thing we're going to do is just follow each of those pilot holes with a 3/16 inch drill bit. That way we drill a hole big enough that our hardware can fit through. And then it's as simple as grabbing the screws, grabbing the nuts, and tightening this guy and getting them right into place. And then we'll vacuum up all these metal shavings. All right, our holes are completely drilled. Let's go ahead and get our hardware here. So because this is the metal pedal, they include some machine screws. So the machine screws are going to drop through the pedal itself, through the pedal on the vehicle, and then on the back side they give you some nylon nuts here that are going to attach to the back, and that's going to hold the pedal on there. They give you a hex key, and then it'll be a 9mm wrench that will hold the nut in the back. So let's go ahead and get these guys installed, take a look at the brake pedal, and then turn our attention to the gas pedal. All right, so the brake pedal looks great, and it is all done. So now we're gonna work on the gas pedal, which is a little bit different, but similar. So same thing again, we're gonna line everything with blue painter's tape. We're gonna mark our holes once we put the pedal on there with a marker. Then we're gonna drill a 1/16 inch pilot hole on the 4 corners where we're gonna use those screws. But in this case, because we're drilling into a plastic pedal, we're gonna use these self-tapping screws. So that 1/16 hole is all we're gonna need. So we're gonna drill that hole. We're gonna tighten the screws down into those holes so we tap the hole. Then we're gonna put the pedal down, or then we're gonna remove the screw, then put the pedal down and tighten everything back up. All right, before we drill our holes, just wanted to show you, we got our blue tape on there. We marked our holes. We got 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Again, the whole pedal, including the arm, is all plastic. So you are gonna be using self-tapping screws. So it doesn't really matter what all is behind the hole. As long as you drill that pilot hole and you can thread the screw in there, you're gonna be in good shape. With the gas pedal, because it's up against the wall, you are gonna wanna make sure that when you push it down, it's not obstructing anything. It's a much wider pedal. It does have a little bit of overhang. So what I did is I basically lined up the bottom corner here, like so. And that's how I lined everything up so I can mark my holes. So now what I'm gonna do is take my 1/16 inch drill bit, drill those 4 holes, use a Phillips head, and tap these guys in there, and then we should be good to go. I'll get the car pulled out of the garage all the way, and we'll take a look at the final product in daylight. All right, so there's the final product. I will say the the gas pedal is a heck of a lot easier to install than the brake pedal because you're not drilling through metal. It's just plastic, and it's pretty soft plastic. But anyway, that's the final product there. That's head on what it looks like. Same process, tape, mark your holes, 1/16 pilot here, 3/16 final hole over here, just a 1/16 pilot, and then send in your self-tapping screws. Overall, very easy, you know, 1 out of 5 stars as far as difficulty. Definitely check them out. I will leave a link down to these pedals in the description below. Like I said, there's a million different ways you can customize these. I went with a pretty classic look, so that matte silver look in the grid pattern, but there's a bunch of different patterns you can get these things cut in, as well as colors and finishes. But with that said, that's the SRP Racing pedals install on my 2023 Raptor. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.